Okay, today I'm going to be cooking ribeye steak sous vide. I purchased a choice boneless ribeye roast from Costco for about $38. I'm going to be cutting that into 4 steaks, roughly 1 pound apiece, and I'll be cooking them sous vide in an Anova precision cooker. This one is the Bluetooth model. It's not the Wi-Fi model. I didn't find a need for that in my kitchen. However, this thing has been an absolute workhorse for me, particularly when I'm cooking big chunks of meat like brisket or bone-in ribs, things that require long cooking times. I can just, I can put it in a 5-gallon bucket and just let it roll for 24 hours and it comes out absolutely perfect, and all I have to do is put a sear on it. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'll be cooking the ribeye steaks sous vide in the Anova cooker, but I'll also be using my new toy that I got from Harbor Freight. This is a propane torch that is typically used for burning out weeds and for, it looks like, de-icing sidewalks and driveways. This thing cost roughly $19.99 at Harbor Freight. I, however, got it for a little over 17 bucks because I used the 20% off coupon, and I've never used it before, so we'll see how it goes. I'm getting tired of heating up a cast iron pan in my kitchen and letting it reach the smoke point, and then the oil just splatters everywhere and it creates a really smoky environment here in my kitchen. So I'm looking to avoid that today, rather than using about 10 pounds of coal to reach the same temperatures. This torch here says that it can reach temperatures over 3,000 degrees, which I think is outstanding for searing. When you put that in perspective, from what I gather, Ruth Chris does their steaks at about an 1,800 degree flash point inside the oven there, and their steaks come out incredibly tender, well seared, and they are incredibly expensive. So I'm just looking to see if I can replicate that at home, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so getting started with the Anova cooker, I know that my kitchen sink puts out water that's about 101 degrees. I need this water to reach 130 degrees in a relatively quick period of time because I'd like to get cooking soon. So what I'm going to do to expedite that process is I'm going to go ahead and turn on the stove to help heat that water up a little bit faster. If I was to just stick the Anova cooker in there at 101 degree water, it would probably take somewhere in the neighborhood of about 14 to 15 minutes for it to come up to 130 degrees. So I find that by putting the stove on the water first and then testing the temperature, I can reach that temperature at a much faster pace. Probably within 1 to 2 minutes it'll be at about 130, and then I can stick the cooker in there and let it roll. Okay, so while the sous vide cooker is coming up to temp, I've got it set to about 130 because we like medium rare around here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this up into about 1-inch steaks. Now, time for seasoning. For us around here, I like to keep it real simple. With a good steak, you don't need a lot. So we're just gonna go with some kosher salt, some fresh cracked black pepper, and granulated garlic. Big pieces of meat like this, you wanna season liberally with salt. It can take it. Plus you're gonna lose some of it in the cooking process. Okay, now what I have here is 2 1-gallon Ziploc bags, 2 steaks per. Just go ahead and slide them on in the bag. And I heard the little beep in the background. That means the Anova cooker has come up to temp and we're ready to go. Okay, it's up to temp. I'm just going to go ahead and we'll slide these steaks in. We'll push them into the water to make sure that they're fully submerged and to get all the air out. And I'm just going to clip it to the edge here. Okay, there you have it. We'll let it come up to 130 and we'll let them sit here for about an hour, hour and a half. Depends on when I'm ready to cook. And then we'll finish with the sear. Okay, so I've taken them out of the sous vide cooker and we're just going to pat these steaks dry. They smell amazing, by the way. And now I get to play with my new toy. Get one of these steaks on the grill. I'll put them both on. It looks like they'll fit. Man, I tell you what, that's like 100 times better than doing it in a pan. The color on these steaks in just a few seconds is incredible. Okay, now it's time for the test to see if it turns out medium rare. So from edge to edge, it's looking pretty medium rare to me. That's a perfect steak in my eyes. And I'm gonna steal a piece of this cap, just so I know. Oh, that's good. That's just like butter. Okay, so once again, the Anova cooker has done its thing. You could pick you one of these up at Target. They're relatively easy to get. They're about $129, but you can find them on sale for 99 bucks. The Wi-Fi model, however, costs somewhere in the neighborhood of $160, and I've maybe seen it as low as $150 at Target, so they're readily accessible. In terms of this propane torch, I can't say enough about this thing in terms of what I'm trying to accomplish with it. Maybe you don't find it feasible, or maybe you don't find it something that you would have a lot of use for, but I can promise you that I'm either going to use this to light my coals in the future, or I'm going to use this for putting sears on different meats. I think it was an outstanding buy at 17 bucks for me, and I think that you could benefit from it too. I wish, however, when cooking with this thing, that I got to use it for much longer. That's about the only thing that I can say, because it's just so much fun to cook with that much fire. Maybe it's just the boy inside me, but that's how I feel about it. It's so much power in your hands. It feels phenomenal.